All right, let's jump right in. Today we're going deep into one of the most epic tales ever told. The Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Specifically, we're taking a close look at the very first chapter.
Sounds intense.
Oh, it is. And believe me, you don't need to be a scholar of Chinese history to get swept up in the drama. This chapter throws you headfirst into a world of crumbling empires, larger-than-life heroes, and battles that'll make your jaw drop.
So no pressure then?
None at all. Just buckle up. Now, the story kicks off with the fall of the mighty Han dynasty. It wasn't a sudden collapse, but more like this slow decay from within, all thanks to rampant corruption.
Ah, classic recipe for disaster.
Right, and the novel doesn't shy away from naming names. It points fingers at these corrupt officials, the 10 eunuchs, who were basically pulling the strings from behind the scenes.
I mean, if you're going to write a story about corruption, might as well go all in.
Exactly, and it wasn't just whispers and rumors. These guys had real power. Even respected scholars like Kai Young, who dared to criticize them, ended up facing serious consequences.
It's like the story is setting the stage, showing us just how messed up things had become.
Absolutely. You get this sense that the empire's lost its way, its mandate from heaven, if you will. And to make matters worse, natural disasters start popping up, ominous signs that something's seriously out of whack.
Like a giant snake slithering through the palace. Not exactly subtle?
Nope, not subtle at all. And as if things weren't chaotic enough, boom! A massive peasant rebellion explodes onto the scene, the Yellow Turban Rebellion.
Okay, gotta love good rebellion. Who are these guys?
These guys are serious. Led by Zhang Ju, this charismatic figure who claimed to have Taoist magic, they promised to usher in a new era of peace and prosperity, a utopian great peace.
Oh, I see. So it's not just about overthrowing the dynasty, it's about creating a whole new world order.
You got it. And Zhang Ju was smart. He had these scriptures called the Taiping Essentials that basically laid out his vision for this ideal society. People were desperate for change, for hope, and he gave them that, along with a healthy dose of magic.
Clever strategy. Combine that with a dash of divine inspiration, and it's no wonder the rebellion spread like wildfire.
Exactly. We're talking hundreds of thousands of followers, all sporting those iconic yellow turbans, ready to fight for their vision of a better world.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued, but where does our hero fit into all this?
Ah, yes, our hero. Enter Liu Bei. Now, he's not your typical knight in shining armor. We first meet him as a humble sandal weaver. But here's the twist. He's actually a descendant of the Han imperial family, which means he has a legitimate claim to the throne.
Ooh, that's juicy. So he's got this lineage connecting him to the glory days of the empire, but he's starting from the bottom. That's classic underdog stuff.
And it gets better. The novel describes Liu Bei as this striking figure, 7.5 feet tall, ears touching his shoulders, hands reaching past his knees.
Whoa, hold on. This guy sounds more like a mythical giant than a humble sandal weaver.
Right. Almost like he's destined for greatness just based on his appearance. There's even this anecdote about young Liu Bei playing with other kids under a giant mulberry tree. He looks up at this massive canopy and declares, "I will be the emperor and ride under this."
Talk about foreshadowing. You can practically see the ambition burning in his eyes.
It's a powerful symbol, too. He sees himself literally rising above the chaos and restoring the Han dynasty to its former glory.
Okay, I'm starting to understand why people are so drawn to this story. It's about more than just battles and politics. It's about hope, about individuals who refuse to let darkness consume everything.
Exactly. But Liu Bei doesn't face this challenge alone. He's got two sworn brothers who are just as legendary, Guan Yu and Zhang Fei.
Now we're talking every hero needs a good sidekick, or two.
Oh, these guys are way more than sidekicks. They're practically forces of nature. Guan Yu is this stoic warrior, almost godlike in his presence, wielding a massive green dragon crescent blade that weighs a whopping 82 pounds.
82 pounds? Seriously? That's more like a small cannon than a sword?
I know, right? And then you got Zhang Fei, the total opposite of Guan Yu. He's impulsive, hot-headed, always itching for a fight. His weapon of choice, a deadly serpent spear.
Okay, I'm starting to see the dynamic here. You've got the stoic strategist and the fiery berserker. What a combo.
It's pure brilliance, and their bond is cemented in this incredibly dramatic oath-taking ceremony in a peach garden. They swear to live and die together, united in their ambition to restore peace to the land.
Oh, that's kind of sweet, like a brotherhood forged in fire and ambition.
It's more than just sweetness. In Chinese culture, that oath-taking ceremony in the Peach Garden is deeply significant. It symbolizes brotherhood, loyalty, shared purpose. It's a sacred bond.
I get it. It's not just three guys hanging out. It's a commitment to something bigger than themselves.
And just when they're ready to take on the world, fate steps in. Two wealthy merchants, Zhang Shipping and Su Shuang, appear on the scene and provide them with horses, weapons, and enough money to equip a small army.
Talk about a lucky break. It's like the universe is saying, okay, I'm on board with your plan. Here's a little help to get you started.
Right, it's like a scene straight out of a movie. The heroes get their gear and set off on their quest.
So what's their first stop? Straight into the heart of the Yellow Turban Rebellion.
You bet. Armed with their new resources and unwavering loyalty to each other, the three brothers get their first taste of battle against the Yellow Turbans. And let me tell you, this isn't just a small skirmish, it's a clash of ideals, a fight for the very soul of the empire.
High stakes. So how does it go down?
It's pure chaos. Imagine thousands of rebels with their yellow turbans clashing against the Han forces. But amidst all the chaos, Guan Yu and Zhang Fei really shine. Guan Yu, with his incredible swordsmanship, cleaves the rebel leader Cheng Yuanzi right in two.
Wow. Talk about making an entrance. And Zhang Fei.
Oh, he doesn't disappoint. He takes down Cheng Yuanzi's deputy with a single spear thrust. They're like a whirlwind of righteous fury cutting through the enemy ranks.
So they win. They crush the rebellion right then and there.
Not quite. This is just the first taste of battle. It's a victory, for sure, and it establishes them as heroes, champions of the Han dynasty. But it's only the beginning of their long and complicated journey.
I bet. With a start like that, I can only imagine what kind of twists and turns lie ahead.
Oh, you have no idea. The story just keeps getting more tangled and intense, but we'll have to save that for the next part of our deep dive.
So last time, we left those three brothers in a pretty tense situation with Dong Zhuo.
Oh, tense is putting it mildly. I mean, they just risked their necks to save this guy from a yellow turban ambush, and how does he repay them? By basically sneering at them because they're nobodies with no official rank.
Yeah, that's gotta sting. Talk about a bruised ego.
Especially for Zhang Fei, right? He's already got that hair-triggered temper, and you can just imagine him seeing red, ready to storm into Dong Zhuo's tent and give him a piece of his mind, or maybe even a piece of his spear.
I wouldn't want to be in Dong Zhuo's sandals at that moment. But Liu Bei, he's the voice of reason, isn't he?
Always. He manages to hold Zhang Fei back. He understands that rash actions won't get them anywhere, especially when they're dealing with someone as powerful and unpredictable as Dong Zhuo.
It's a classic test of leadership, right? You've got the hothead wanting to charge in and the strategist trying to think long-term.
Exactly. It's a theme that pops up again and again throughout the novel, this conflict between action and strategy. It makes you think, when is it right to act on impulse, and when is it better to wait for the right moment?
It's a question we all grapple with, even today. But let's not forget, amidst all this drama, they also run into their old teacher, Lu Zi, who's being transported as a prisoner. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Talk about a punch to the gut. This guy, Lu Zi, he's a brilliant scholar, a loyal servant to the empire, and he gets framed by a corrupt official because he refused to pay a bribe.
Classic case of good guys getting screwed over by the system. It just shows how deeply corruption had infected every level of the Han dynasty.
And for Liu Bei, it's a turning point. He realizes that defeating the Yellow Turbans, that's only half the battle. They also need to fight against the rot eating away at the empire from within.
So it's like they're facing enemies on two fronts. The external threat of the rebellion and the internal decay of the ruling class.
And just when you think things can't get any worse, they stumble upon a scene of utter chaos. The Han army, now led by, guess who? Dong Zhuo, of course, is being absolutely decimated by the Yellow Turbans.
Oh man, talk about a trial by fire. What do? Their mentor is a prisoner. The army's fallen apart. It's the ultimate test.
They do what heroes do. They charge into the fray. They can't just stand by and watch the empire crumble. They rally the remaining troops, let out their battle cry, and take on the fearsome Zhang Ju himself.
Head-to-head with the big boss. This must be where all that brotherhood and training pays off.
It's an epic clash, a true turning point in the story. And you see their individual skills, their teamwork, everything comes together. They become this unstoppable force, pushing back the rebels, turning the tide of battle.
So they save the day again. They prove their loyalty and their worth.
Well, they win the battle, no doubt. But the victory feels hollow. You know why? Because Dong Zhuo, that arrogant jerk, He can't even bring himself to acknowledge their heroism. He's so blinded by his own ego, it's infuriating.
I can practically hear Zhang Fei's blood boiling from here.
And that's exactly how the chapter ends, with Zhang Fei about to lose it and possibly do something drastic. Talk about a cliffhanger.
Oh man, I'm on the edge of my seat. Will Liu Bei be able to rein in his hot-headed brother? And how will they survive in this world where loyalty and merit seem to count for nothing?
That's the million-dollar question. It's clear this is just the beginning of their trials. They've proven themselves on the battlefield, but now they face a different kind of enemy. The corruption and betrayal that threatened to destroy the empire from within. Last time we left off, Zhang Fei was about ready to lose it with Dong Zhuo.
Yeah, he was about 2 seconds away from doing something he'd probably regret.
But Liu Bei, being Liu Bei, he steps in and talks Zhang Fei down from the edge.
Always thinking of the bigger picture, eh?
Exactly. It would have been so easy to just let Zhang Fei unleash his fury on Dong Zhuo. I mean, the guy deserved it.
Oh, totally deserved it.
But Liu Bei knows that kind of impulsive action would only cause more problems in the long run.
It's like that saying, revenge is a dish best served cold, or something like that.
Exactly. And besides, taking out Dong Zhuo wouldn't solve the real problem, the corruption that's eating away at the empire from the inside.
Yeah, it's like trying to fix a leaky roof while the foundation's crumbling.
Perfect analogy. But anyway, just as they're leaving Dong Zhuo's camp, feeling pretty disillusioned, they get some unexpected news.
Oh, what kind of news?
News that changes everything. Zhang Zhu, the leader of the Yellow Turban Rebellion, he's dead.
Whoa, hold on. That's huge. What happens to the rebellion without its charismatic leader?
It pretty much collapses.
Yeah.
I mean, without Zhang Yu's vision and guidance, the whole movement loses its steam. The rebels start fighting amongst themselves. They lose their momentum, their unity.
And the Han forces, they take advantage of the situation.
Absolutely. The Han forces, despite their own internal struggles, they start pushing back, gaining ground. The rebellion is pretty much on its last legs.
It's a victory for the Han dynasty, right? But it kind of feels like a hollow victory.
I know what you mean. It's bittersweet, right? Sure, the immediate threat of the Yellow Turban Rebellion is gone, but the empire is still a mess. The corrupt officials are still in power.
It's like they've won the battle, but the war is far from over.
And that's where things start to get really interesting. The novel hints at all these power struggles brewing beneath the surface. Alliances are shifting, betrayals are being plotted. It's like the empire's a powder keg about to explode.
So it's not just about good versus evil anymore. It's about who's going to seize control in the aftermath of all this chaos.
Exactly. It makes you wonder, who will emerge from the ashes of this crumbling dynasty? Will it be someone like Liu Bei, who represents those ideals of righteousness and loyalty? Or will it be someone like Dong Zhuo, who's all about power and ruthlessness?
It's the kind of question that keeps you up at night.
And that's where the first chapter leaves us, on the edge of our seats, wondering what's going to happen next. We know Liu Bei and his brothers have proven their bravery and skill, but the real test is just beginning.
They're like those little seeds you mentioned earlier, planted in the middle of a storm. Will they take root and flourish, or will they get swept away?
I guess we'll have to wait and see. So there you have it, our deep dive into the first chapter of The Romance of the Three Kingdoms. It's a story that throws you headfirst into a world of epic battles and political intrigue.
And complex characters. Don't forget those complex characters.
Absolutely. It's a story that explores those timeless themes of loyalty, ambition, and the struggle for power, themes that are just as relevant today as they were centuries ago.
It makes you think about the choices we make, the battles we fight, and the legacies we leave behind.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us on this journey to ancient China, and we'll see you next time for another epic adventure.